What is up, my beautiful people? My name is Tekmin Kim. I'm a second-year medical student, and today I'm going to my ILC site, which is my longitudinal clerkship, where I'm shadowing under a doctor, getting to see real patients in real time. And then tomorrow I have my clinical skills, and then on Thursday we have some more neuro stuff that we're doing. So right now I'm in my neuro block. This is the final block before I have to take my big step 1 or my board exam. So if you're ready for that, let's get it. Let's get it. I already said that. Let's get it. Today. So we started our neuro block. Right now we're learning about nervous system disorders, mostly to do with kind of like the spinal cord, like the tract that goes along your spine. And then we're also talking about a little bit of psychiatry. And I think the crazy thing about neurology is that technically all body systems are connected to your nervous system, right? The heart, the lungs, the GI system, everything's connected. So we're learning about like pretty much how neural disorders connect with a lot of different parts of our body. So it kind of feels like the final boss. And also, this is the first exam in a while since we've had to take in a month. So what I mean by that is, up until this point, most of our exams, except for like last year back in like the winter time, like in January, we would do around 1 week of content or 2 weeks of content, and then we would take an exam. Right now, this is our first exam where we have 3 weeks of content, and then we have an exam. And not only that, our next exam is also similarly 3 weeks of content and then an exam. Timeline-wise, I have 2 months. 2 months until I start my dedicated time, which is pretty much the time that I prepare to take for my step exam. And once that dedicated time starts, I have 2 months until I take my board exam, which means in total I have around 4 months or 120 days before I take my first board exam. Am I ready? Do I feel prepared? Not at all. Am I stressed out? Oh yeah, I'm very stressed out. Am I procrastinating and being avoidant about it? 100%. But I did talk to a friend of mine, and something that she told me was the amount of content, like the content that we're learning right now, right, will take up around like maybe 10% of the actual exam. Whereas everything I've learned up to this point is 90% exam. And as of now, I've been spending about 90% of my day studying for this new exam and spending around 10% of my time in the day to study for my step exam. And I think another thing that's really concerning is that I have stuff on my textbook called the First Aid that I've been using to study for my board exam. And there's stuff that we have yet to cover. We have yet to cover some of the stuff, and we never get to it. So that means I have to learn it like for the first time while I'm also studying. So I don't know how this is gonna work out, but a long roundabout way of saying I need to start now and I need to start preparing a little bit better. I did pay for the step exam. Guess how much that joint cost? That joint was $695. $695, that exam. Insane. All right, time to head in. One really quick thing that's really also really cool is that now that I have learned a lot of the stuff for my board exams, when I go to my ILC site, I say like 90% of the time, I know something, or I know somewhat of something that they're talking about now. It's very rare for me to come across a patient or disease where I haven't at least heard of it before now, which is super cool. So let's see what we're gonna see today. Alright, so I just got done with my ILC shift. A bunch of cool stuff that I got to talk and learn about today. And I think one of the ones that really stood out to me was I got to learn about pernicious anemia. Okay, so pernicious anemia pretty much means that you are unable to absorb vitamin B12 because in your stomach there's something called intrinsic factor, and that has to bind to vitamin B12 in order for you to absorb it. So it's an absorption problem. And I knew that. But the treatment for it is to inject vitamin B12 into you. And maybe to you guys that's obvious, but to me it was like, why, like, if you have a vitamin B12 deficiency problem and you inject it, wouldn't they still not be able to like absorb it? And I realized, oh no, the problem is that the vitamin B12 can't get to the bloodstream because it can't get absorbed from the gut into your intestines and then to the blood. So if you inject vitamin B12 directly into your blood, bada bing, bada boom, that solves the problem. And that wasn't clicking to me on my own until like I like looked into it further. And maybe I'm just dumb for that. But it's like simple stuff like that about medicine. There's just so much information that it's like even the simple basic stuff, unless like someone like puts it in my face on a golden platter, like it won't clock for me sometimes. But that was kind of cool. Other simple things, like let's say a patient comes in, they have some kind of like bacterial infection, and the doctor gives a specific antibiotic. And I said, I usually wouldn't have given that antibiotic for this disease, but he did. So I said, so why did you decide to give that drug? And he goes, well, in the past, this person has already taken amoxicillin, and this person has already taken these XYZ drugs. And so in order to reduce antibiotic resistance, I decided to put them on doxycycline. And I was like, oh, so that's why you put them on that. And it's just like simple stuff like that, because if you give the same antibiotic over and over again for longer periods of time, it kind of gives more of a chance for antibiotic resistance, because bacteria can mutate and like they get better at, defending against these things. One of the most common ones that people talk about, or the scary ones, is MRSA. And I even told, I was studying the first step, and I was telling the doctor, like, hey man, like can you just give me some advice on like, how do you remember everything? Because there's just so much information. Like, how is this possible? Like, how is it possible to know everything about the human body and take an exam on it? And how do you retain that information? And he said the number one thing that helps him remember stuff is to see actual patients and to go through that process. He was like, every single time a disease comes up now, he just remembers the patient, how they presented, what steps he took to get to the diagnosis and the treatment. And he's like, once that happens, it sticks with you better. And I think that's why we do ILC here at Albany Med, because even though I'm not the one directly treating the patient, seeing the patients with certain diseases or certain treatment plans, it sticks so much. Like, I will never forget pernicious anemia, vitamin B12 deficiency, and the injections that they give. I remember we were even talking about in one of our ethic classes, like what allows doctors to, at the end of the day, make hard decisions between X and Y, or A and B, like decisions, right? And we were all just like, the doctor's gut. And that sounds kind of like suspicious, and it kind of is to a certain degree, but you realize more and more as you study medicine, so much of it is taught through experience, more than just books. There's only so much you can do. And I'm just so intrigued to see how much more I'm going to retain and learn once I get past this like studying in the textbook hurdle and get to like really learn from experience that has been passed down really from generation to generation by teaching it in person, through patients, through the hospital. Like, that's a blessing in and of itself. Like, that's a privilege right there. So I'm excited. Also, something really embarrassing really quick. So I don't know if you guys can see. They see that like yellow stain right here. Like, it's like right here. I have no idea where that stain came from. I noticed it just now. Or like, not just now, but like while I was at the clinic, and I was like, dang, I look like a bomb. I'm gonna have to try to get rid of it. I'd be so upset if this doesn't come off. That just came to my head. Like, what if this doesn't come out? I'm gonna head back home, eat some dinner, and then head to volleyball. Which I kind of need, because like my brain really, I have a really bad headache. I don't know, it might be because I'm hungry. I'm like low-key hungry. All right. It is getting too long.
Let's take it back to a time when we were so much in love, baby. Ooh, yeah. Let us switch
Oh god, it's so good. All right, so I decided this morning that I think I'm gonna do. I have a game plan for my step exam. What I'm gonna do is in the mornings I'm gonna watch one sketchy micro video because that's my weakest part in my knowledge. To one sketchy video a day will keep the step one spookies away, and then and then afterwards I'm gonna clock in like 9 to 5, pretty much my normal lectures for neuro. And then after that, from 5 to like 10 or 11 p.m., I'm gonna be doing step one prep by going through my first aid. But then this morning, I was also thinking like maybe instead of doing that, what I might end up doing is within those 10 pages that I do every single day for my first aid, instead of reading them, I'm gonna correlate them to a question bank, do the question bank, and study at the same time. I think that might be more effective because USMLE RX, that question bank actually breaks down the questions per chapter of the first aid, and that just like clocked this morning for me. So I think I might try that instead because there's some information on the first aid that I was reading that just it's not gonna be on step. So I think I need to better figure out the ratio of time spent per page as well, instead of giving an equal amount of time to each page. But yeah, that's the plan for now. Other than that, today I have my clinical skills that I have to go into. Apparently, the patient is gonna come in with a headache. That could mean a bajillion different things. I also did this because I need some kind of reward pathway. So this is all the topics I have left for this exam. So I'm gonna try to, each time I finish one, I fill one out to like get the dopamine rush, I guess. All right. So I know some of you guys are interested in my study strategies and how they progressed over time. And I kind of want to talk about how my study strategies literally it's still changing. I thought it wouldn't, but it is. So for example, when I started neuro, I usually watch bootcamp videos and I reference the first aid and I go through my lecture slides. I have watched maybe 5 to 10 bootcamp videos, and most of my content knowledge for the neuro block is coming from the first aid. I'm still using that consistently, but I've been watching YouTube videos and ChatGPT to learn 90% of neuro. That's what's been going on so far. And I think that's just a testament to show you guys that there's no right way to study in med school. Explore your options, explore what works, explore what doesn't work. I think that's like still the best advice I can give. And it's crazy because that was the advice I gave, I think, during the first or second week of med school, way back, like some of my first vlogs. And I said, I don't have everything figured out yet, but if there's one advice that I can give, it's adapt, learn to learn. And to this day, that is the best and biggest advice I think I can give to you guys. All right, so I'm now heading over to CSK. I finished about halfway through the sticky note calendar that I was marking off of, which is good. So today we're talking about headaches. I did a quick review of stuff for my differential to see what it could possibly be. Cancer, like a blood problem, like for example, if you have a trauma to the head or if there's like intracranial bleeding, it could be pressure buildup, it could be an infection, especially like sinus infection or something like that causing pressure. It could be also something called Chiari malformation, which is essentially the back part of your brain kind of slips into the spinal fluid area and it builds up pressure like that way. So there's a lot of things that it could be. So just keeping that in the back of my head, but going in with a clear, empty mind, without any preformed ideas. I feel like being a doctor is kind of like being a dictionary, or like, I guess more like an encyclopedia. Like you know a bunch of stuff, but you don't go in with the intention to look for something.
Huh?
Doctors are kind of like an encyclopedia, but with like more reasoning skills. This is a horrible analogy. I'm just gonna pretend to scratch that. Okay, I'm running slightly. I'm gonna get there just on time, so I'm gonna have to speed walk a little bit to get there. But yeah. So I just finished my CSK. It was a little bit more difficult than I thought, just mostly because why am I holding it like that? Mostly just because we didn't really learn too much about headings, but I think I did pretty okay. I actually got most of the stuff on accident, but I got it. So hey man, whatever works. I'm studying in the library for a little bit before I have my meeting with my friend Steve for our Doctors Beyond Medicine. We're trying to figure out what kind of food to order for our next meeting because we got our funding approved. We're trying to do Chipotle because Chipotle is friendly for vegan, vegetarian, gluten allergy. It's just kind of it's good like that, but it's kind of expensive. I found my clip-on earrings in my bag for some reason. They're from Amazon and they low-key look good though. Everyone says they look so real and they don't hurt. And so I have no reason to pierce my ears. Mismatch, but I was looking for them and they were at the bottom of my bag for some reason. Okay, let's actually get some work done. What? Today? Oh, you don't have anything tomorrow, right? Where are you going? To California, right? Lucky. Oh my. 80s is crazy.
It's looking like by default peripheral nerve.
One-handed. All right. Oh. What's up? What's up? So, part of our ILC, what we have to do is to print out, we have to write down a full HMP, a history and physical of one of the patients we saw, and then we have to get it checked by our preceptor, our doctor there, and that's one of our assignments. And the thing is most patients that come in, you don't really do everything. So half of my write-up is literally none, I don't know, but it's an assignment we gotta do. I have therapy at 1 p.m. right now. It's 11, so I'm gonna get some stuff done before that. I also realized during my TPL session this morning that the stuff I learned in week 1 and week 2, I'm in week 3 right now, is gone. But the more concerning thing is I studied myasthenia gravis last night, which is a neuromuscular junction problem due to autoantibodies causing muscle problems. And I learned it yesterday. My case was on myasthenia gravis, and I still got it wrong. I'm cooked. Alright, so I just got out of my HCS class, which is our ethics class, and we were pretty much talking about how, debating between physician-assisted suicide, mental illness, and the capacity of patients to make their own decisions. And it was very interesting because usually our class is split into 50-50, one group believes in this, one group believes in that. But this time, almost every person had a differing opinion about every topic, and it was very interesting. We started off with like physicians holding patients against their will in hospitals when they have a psychiatric illness or like a mental illness. And then we went into physician-assisted suicide, like what if patients want to die? And then we started talking about, do humans even have the right to die in the United States? Like, and I brought up even the death penalty, and like it went into all this stuff. And it was a really good environment to talk about it. And we had a lot of different opinions, but I think we all like kind of got something out of it. And yeah, so I'm gonna go register step 1 now with David, because we registered for step. We just registered for step. Yo, that's going the wall.
I'm so scared.
No, I'm actually kind of... Dude, now it's real. We're taking it on February 9th. 280 questions. I'm gonna have to take... I have to go to the bathroom before.
You should take Imodium.
Oh, also, my UWorld expires the week before. It's actually perfect.
That's unfortunate, though. It's not, because don't you want to... You have the forms. Don't you have the step 1 forms that you would want to take?
I'm too good. I don't need it. You want to be in the vlog?
Hell yeah, bro.
So I'm gonna watch some sketchy videos now to go over farm. I was supposed to get a lot more work done today and start step studying, but I am only halfway there. So I need to clock in some lectures before I start step studying. I use Sketchy for micro, but apparently some of my friends said that Sketchy is pretty good for the pharmacology section, which is the medication. And there's so many drugs when it comes to your brain. So I think I'm just gonna watch Sketchy and see how it goes. Okay, Sketchy's not working. I'm like 5 minutes in and it is not working for me. The thing is, like, trying it, trial and error in the beginning might sound like a lot of waste of time, but for each section, so like drugs or like a certain type of like disorders, like spinal cord disorders or something like that, or neuromuscular disorders. Once you learn kind of like what works, what doesn't, you can kind of apply that to the rest of them. So once I figure out what works for drugs for this unit, I can just apply that to all the drugs. So I want to take time right now to like really figure out what is the best way that I can efficiently memorize these drugs and understand them. That's my biggest concern right now. Okay, YouTube is so much better. And it's very interesting also to just be like, wow, I haven't used YouTube like this on any of my blogs. Not for the heart, the lungs, the kidneys, the metabolism, GI. Like I haven't used YouTube like this ever. But for some reason, neuro and psych, YouTube's kind of goated for me personally. So. Alright, so I think I'm going to end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end of this video. I hope you guys really got to enjoy just how different and drastic that each day as a medical student can be. One day I'm in clinic, one day I'm at school, one day I'm at home for most of the day. One days I'm stressing, and other days I'm stressing. But at the end of the day, we moving forward. If you guys enjoyed, then please consider joining my journey by hitting that subscribe button down below for more videos. And please let me know what your thoughts as you were watching this video down in the comments down below, as I love reading them as always, and I'll respond to them as best as I can. As always, a goal for you this week is spend some time with loved ones. I think a lot of times when I'm studying, I'm kind of cooped up by myself and I can get lonely sometimes. Make sure to reach out to that one friend, or make sure to call your family members or loved ones that are far away maybe, or maybe some people that you just haven't hit up in a while. You know those people. The people in your lives that are always for you day ones, but you don't like hit them up every day, but you hit them up every once in a while. Today's the day. Give them that life update, guys. But yeah, stay safe, stay healthy. Love you guys. Till next time. Peace.
You say that you've been around but no one knows ya, 'cause no one's told ya. Baby, just come closer. I'll pick you up this weekend. I don't need no pretense. You fix my broken pieces. You say that you've been